You're watching Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney, Southwest Florida's retirement television. He's an author, a radio host, a fiduciary, and Southwest Florida's premier investment advisor. Here is Senior Investment Advisor Eric Kearney.
Welcome to Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney. My name is 𝗵𝗲 𝗱𝗁, joined today by Eric Kearney and Joseph Lanza of Retirement Wealth Advisors. And to our viewers at home, we dedicate this show to you today. We have come up with the top questions that listeners and viewers want to know, so we've decided to put them in one show. So again, viewers, this is all about you today. Eric, how are you?
Great, 𝗵𝗲. So happy to be here with you.
I'm so happy to be with you as well. And Joseph, how are you?
Doing good, ready for another show.
Me too. I'm excited about today's show because obviously being on the air, you have the radio show, you have the TV show. There's a lot of common questions that are coming in.
Right.
So I'm so excited about today's show. Let's see what people are thinking. Ready?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Eric, this first one's for you. It says, Eric, I have accounts all over the place and I'm overwhelmed. What would you suggest? Accounts all over the place.
Yeah, I'm overwhelmed for them, right? I mean, so when somebody comes in and they're bringing in like a whole shoebox of statements, like I am overwhelmed. When I see all these different companies, all these different accounts, I can only think one thing: unmanaged, right? And so we have to realize that we have life, we have careers. We're just busy. Everyone is busy. You know, I remember somebody sitting across the table from me and they're like, Eric, I'm so busy. And I'm thinking, I think everyone is, you know, when you really think about it, it is crazy. When my father retired, the one thing that he would always say is, I don't know how I had the time when I was working, right? I'm retired now and I still don't have time. So life gets in the way. And then all of a sudden we work at a job, we have the statement, we have a 401k, we leave there, we create another one. And then maybe our grandmother's opening up an account. All of a sudden we end up with all these accounts, but really nobody's actually taking care of them. So what ends up happening is we have lost opportunity. They're not being managed. They're more than likely they're outdated. And I'm talking, you know, we're in 2025. I'm talking portfolios from the 90s and early 2000. The whole market has evolved since then, but yet our finances haven't. And so the other thing that we're doing is we're really not properly preparing for retirement. So if we have accounts all over the place, they're just set it and forget it. What people want to say now is, okay, I've had it. Now I want to create a strategy. I want to make sure that I'm okay for retirement. And the last thing I'll say about that is there's been a lot of people that come into our office and I always think to myself, if I only saw them 2 years ago, if I only saw them 3 years ago, what a huge difference this would have made. So if you're out there and you're struggling to make an appointment or you have these accounts all over the place, you really don't know what to do, it's actually very simple. Just pick up the phone and give us a call, make an appointment, and let's just have a conversation. Don't be overwhelmed. Let us be overwhelmed for you.
Exactly. And sometimes I'm thinking when people have accounts all over the place, it's so easy to forget about them, right? I mean, you forget where you have stuff sometimes. I've heard that before as well.
Do you want to know what happens if somebody brings in a shoebox full of stuff? We're sitting in the conference room and I go, autumn. Yeah.
SOS.
Yeah, SOS. And then she'll come in and start going through everything. That's the nice thing about our concierge service, though. When you have concierge, they're actually picking up all the pieces for you and they're really organizing and putting everything in order. And this is what people want. They're like, look, I get it. People are so overwhelmed that they end up doing nothing. And that's what happens to a lot of people. So
absolutely. Joseph, this next question, will I pay more taxes in retirement compared to my working years?
Yeah, so the typical thinking is that you're never going to be in as high of a tax bracket as you were during your working years as retirement. And so what this leads a lot of people to do is contribute to tax-deferred accounts like 401ks or IRAs because you get a deduction on your contributions to these accounts. But then when you get into retirement, if you want to continue living the lifestyle that you were during your working years, you're going to have to pull money out of these accounts. That's all taxable income back to you again. So just because you're going through retirement, you're never really escaping taxes. And if you are or have been primarily using those 401ks or IRAs to save, you definitely want to make sure that you're factoring in those taxes into your income plan and your financial plan to see how much you're even truly netting from those.
Okay.
And always just keep in mind with those accounts, you really only own 70 to 80% of those accounts, and the rest is owned by Uncle Sam in the form of taxes.
That's true. Very, very good point, because people forget they sometimes have a silent partner.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Anytime you take a withdrawal, they can become not silent.
Yeah, like, hello.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question, Eric, I'm going to guide to you. What does the process look like for working with your firm?
Yeah, so that's actually a great question. So a lot of people, again, get overwhelmed by the process. I'm going to kind of take you back 15 years, and I actually have permission from this client to talk about this. 15 years ago, we had a couple that sold their business, came down, relocated, and actually gave us a call. Now, the interesting thing about this, Cynthia, was they had investments with another advisor. They really weren't doing anything with them. They were just kind of set it and forget it. But then they sold their business, and that's where the majority of their money came from. So here's where it gets really interesting. When we actually sat down with them, there was no income plan, no tax plan, there was no financial plan. They had all these goals and objectives, all these things that they wanted to do, but yet they weren't covered. This is where the process can come in, and I think that you'll all appreciate this because I'm going to explain what they went through. So the first thing that we did was we really did financial triage. We tried to see what they actually needed up front and take care of that first. So really what they needed was, now that they were done working, is income. So we focused on their financial plan and their income plan, and then I took over their investments. So now let's fast forward. Everybody's happy. They feel like, okay, I have everything taken care of. But now what happens is they're making a little bit more money. We want to move to another house. So what I want you guys to understand is that whenever your retirement changes and your lifestyle changes, we go back into the financial plan and we change things around. There is a point to this story, believe me. So then what happens is the next time around, they're like, hey, here's our issues now. We're making a lot more money. We want to protect this. We want to make sure that we're covered for healthcare. We want to make sure that we're covered for long-term care. So this is when we go back into the plan and we start focusing on healthcare, long-term care, and so forth. What changes next time is we want to make sure that our children and our grandchildren are taken care of. So all through their retirement, each year that they're meeting with us, we're managing the portfolio, we're meeting with tax attorneys, CPAs. Donna Kroner, Certified Financial Planner, is covering all their bases. So now all of a sudden we fast forward 12 years and I get a phone call. This is what changes everything. They have lived in a fantastic retirement. They traveled, they lived where they wanted to do, they did everything that they wanted to do. Then he calls me and I get the phone call, Eric, I'm sick. This is actually going to be a hard part for me to talk about because we come very close with our clients. What happens is I knew the I'm sick part. It wasn't like I had bronchitis or a cold. He was very sick and he ended up passing away. So what we did before he passed away was, again, we all came together, the tax attorney, the CPA, Certified Financial Planner. We put all of their ducks in a row. We put them through the process. They both agreed it was the perfect retirement that they could have asked for. After he had passed away, I'm going to call them John and Jane, but basically Jane came in and sat down with us. And as she sat down, again, with Marnie, the CPA, Donna, the Certified Financial Planner, Johnny, the tax attorney, and myself, she said, yesterday I was crying. It was the first time that I had cried for joy because he had taken such good care of us. That's what the financial planning process is knowing that you're coming in, you're covering the life that you actually want. You don't have to worry about inflation. You don't have to worry about market volatility. You don't have to worry about healthcare. You know that you're going to take care of your family. And what's most important about this process was now it's generational. John has passed, his wife is taken care of, now his daughters are taken care of, as well as his grandkids. That's the process.
Yes.
And this is not a pile of statements. This is actually an ongoing service that we provide. So when you work with us, you're getting a lot of value from us. You're working with a complete financial team. This is why we've exploded over the past 5 years, because people want value for the fee that they're paying. How are we going to engage with you? What value are you going to provide us? And that's really what we're looking to do. So that is the process that we're providing for everyone that calls us.
Eric, this is the perfect time for us to take our first commercial break. To our viewers at home, As you can see, there's clearly a difference when you choose the financial advisor that you want to work with. Do you want someone that's going to put all of your needs together in one perfect, beautiful piece, no matter what life is throwing at you, that you can be prepared for your retirement? That's what Eric and Joseph are offering you today. They're offering you a complimentary consultation. Don't miss the opportunity to call in and take advantage of this time. The number is 800-779-1942. If you don't have a pen handy, or perhaps you're running out the door, but you do have your smartphone, you can grab it. Click on that QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That will take you right to the landing page for Retirement Wealth Advisors. You'll be able to claim your spot accordingly. Remember, there is a difference when you're choosing the financial advisor that you want to work with. There's a difference with firms. If you want a firm that's going to care about you with all of your wants and needs in retirement, don't miss the opportunity today. 800-779-1942. We'll be right back momentarily.
And today we are back with Donna Crone, certified financial planner with Retirement Wealth Advisors. And today, Donna, we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, income planning. And so when people come in, they want to know, Eric, how do I replace my paycheck? So Donna, good morning to you.
Good morning, Eric.
And let's talk about that.
So income planning is a part of financial planning. But in an income plan, we're looking specifically year over year of what income you have coming in and what expenses that you have going out. Because as you move through retirement, those are going to change and fluctuate. But I think it's very beneficial when a client is looking and they can see how they're doing, how their portfolio is performing relative to what their needs are. It's very powerful stuff.
Very powerful. So even after 24 years, when we have a client, we've done all this planning, I'm literally still running over to Donna's desk. I'm like, let me see the income plan. Because again, when you're trying to replace your paycheck, you want to know that inflation is being taken care of, healthcare, long-term care. You want to go on trips around the world? We're factoring that into the income plan.
We have clients that want to do big things, like they do want to travel, they do want to renovate their home. When we do the income plan, we're actually able to see the taxable impact year over year. And that allows us to do even more detailed planning. Maybe we're going to split up those distributions over several years to lower their tax burden.
We are a lot of fun at parties. Believe me, we can talk about required minimum distributions, tax brackets, everything. But seriously, all day long. But if you're serious about your finances and tax planning, income planning, financial planning, your portfolio, you have questions about that, really give us a call. This is what we're built for. Remember, you only retire once. Let's get it right the first time. Cynthia, back to you.
Welcome back to Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney. My name is Cynthia 𝗱𝗲𝘁, joined today by Eric Kearney and Joseph Lanza of Retirement Wealth Advisors, and we're going through some common questions that people are asking when they're watching the show and listening to the radio. And I love that we get to see Donna in that commercial break. That is just amazing. I love seeing her because she is the glue, right?
She really is. I mean, she really is. And you know, the funny thing is that Donna is so analytic. And when we first started working together, I'll be honest with you, like we kind of butted heads because she would show me a rate of return in the financial plan. And as a money manager, I'm like, but Donna, I can beat that. And she's like, well, you know, we have to think long term. So we have really gotten on the same page. I mean, really, Donna is great. I mean, she's analytic. She's very smart. She really is obsessed with financial planning. When I go back, I still am questioning the height of myself to Donna because on that couch, I look like I'm 3 inches shorter. And like, I don't know what happened there. So, yeah, I'm pretty not tall. Okay.
No, sometimes it's the angle because we have a picture that my husband and I took, and for some reason it looks like he's one of those ventriloquist dummies on my lap, and he was sitting right next to me. So I get it.
I'm sure you love that.
I told you, he'll be so embarrassed. Oh my goodness, Eric, I'm going to guide this next question to you. It says, I'm very concerned about retirement, but my spouse just assumes that we will be okay. Have you had experience with this? My spouse just assumes we will be okay.
Yeah, that happens a lot. And Cynthia, you and I did the show on women investing. That was probably one of our most popular shows as of late. So what happens is when there is a spouse, a couple with a spouse that doesn't want to come in, that is not really a good situation. Sometimes some people will think, I'm just going to work all the way through retirement. I'm not even going to think about it. Yet we're remodeling the house, we're buying cars, not even giving any question or thought to retirement. But you have to remember, you have a spouse. And so sometimes that spouse will pick up the phone and they're like, well, my spouse doesn't care about this, but I do. So a lot of times that spouse will come into the office. It's not ideal when one person is coming in, but sometimes here's what happens. We talked about the process before and what it's like. People actually appreciate it. They like it. They enjoy it. It gives them more information about their retirement than ever before. So sometimes they go home and all of a sudden the spouse will end up coming in and saying, okay, this is something that I need to do. So again, if you have a spouse that isn't really worried about this, remember, one of you could live a very long time through retirement. So you're still going to have questions about Social Security, where your income's coming from, and basically how you're going to support your lifestyle. So again, if you have any questions and your spouse is really adamant about not coming in, sometimes you have to take the bull by the horns and take care of that yourself.
Eric, thank you so much. Joseph, this next one to you is, what is the dollar amount I need in order to retire? I know a lot of people ask that question. What is the dollar amount I need?
And a lot of people also say, well, you need at least $1 million to retire, or the $2 million retirement is the new $1 million retirement. But everybody that's saying this is really not going off of any financial plan or data or facts that are in there. And that's the thing, is it's all going to boil down to, what do you want out of retirement? That's the sole purpose of how much you're going to need. How much is your retirement going to cost you? And this is why we focus so heavily on financial planning, because while talking about the investments is fun and it's exciting, it really is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. What does that rate of return actually provide for you? What is the true purpose of your money? And so you can't necessarily answer that question of how much you need to save for retirement until you've sat down, you've completed that income plan and that financial plan for your specific situation.
Remember that commercial that everybody walked around, they had a number above their head?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking when I heard that question, because it's so different for everyone.
Yeah, that's how Donna looks at people. She could just see. She was like, that's Donna's sixth sense. She's just like, you need this and you need that. Yeah. It's her
Okay,
superpower.
that's fabulous. Now I have to meet Donna. That is great. Okay, Eric, this is a great one. It says, I've watched you on TV for a long time now, and I need to know, how do I make an appointment, but what is holding me back? I know I need to make an appointment, but what is holding me back? That is the question for you.
Yeah.
What is holding me back? So,
I mean, after 24 years, I'm still trying to answer that, right? A lot of times people come in there and they will say to me, after we're just have a simple conversation, I don't know why I didn't do this a long time ago. Or someone really came in with a pretty conservative portfolio. We start making them money. Why didn't I do this 5 years ago? I don't know. To this day, I still can't answer that. We're overwhelmed. A lot of things happen, okay? I'm going to be honest with you. There's a story about my dog, Bruno. And so a long time ago, a couple years ago, a lady says, I take him to daycare, and she says, oh, by the way, I think Bruno has cancer. And I was like, what? Yeah, this is no lie. Like, she was actually shaving him and giving him like a bath, and she's like, I think he has cancer. So I go back to the office. This is a true story. And I'm telling everybody, I think my dog has cancer, right? So I'm terrified. And I think this is where people can relate to in retirement. If you're terrified to know about your retirement, what do? Nothing. So I just sat there and I'm like, I'm just talking about it, right, to people. Like, oh, Bruno has cancer. I can't believe he has cancer. What does Autumn do? She picks up the phone, she calls the vet, and she goes, I'd like to make an appointment for Bruno and have him checked out, right? And so it was so crazy, but I was like, that is the right thing to do. Call the vet and get him checked out. Long story short, he didn't have cancer. It was so ridiculous. But the point is that I was kind of ashamed of myself because I sat there for an hour not doing anything about it, right? It's the same with our finances. We get overwhelmed. We make a little money in the stock market. It goes down. We think, we're doomed, right? So we do nothing. We have all these statements all over the place. We get overwhelmed. We do nothing. The biggest thing is, give us a call. Let's start the conversation. Or something more simple, go to myincomeplan.com and just download our retirement income guide. It could be the very first step that you do. It's baby steps. Take a look at that, read through it, see if there's anything that you like, and then give us a call. Let's just have a conversation. Let's get the ball rolling and see if we can put you in a better financial position.
Eric, thank you so much. Joseph, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, the number to call is on your screen, 1-800-779-1942. If you're asking yourself in the viewing audience, what is holding me back? Nothing is holding you back. This is the perfect opportunity to call in. Why not take advantage? 1-800-779-1942. We're going to take a very short commercial break here on Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney and Joseph Lanza, but don't go anywhere. We have more of your questions when we return. Stay tuned.
Retirement Wealth Advisors, your investment providers.
What I enjoy most about retirement planning is sitting down with you and having real conversations about your retirement dreams and goals. We specialize in helping people just like you prepare for the retirement they've always dreamed of.
Retirement Wealth Advisors with Eric Kearney.
Welcome back to Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney. My name is 𝗵𝗲 𝘱𝘁, joined today by Eric Kearney and Joseph Lanza of Retirement Wealth Advisors. And this show is all for you viewers at home. These are your questions. These are the common questions that are being heard by Eric and Joseph. So today's show is so much fun. Eric, this next one I'm going to guide to you, please. It says, how much do I need to save for health care?
A lot.
Perfect. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on, right.
Next.
I mean, you know, here's the crazy thing about this is that this year we're actually doing podcasts on our clients that have had health issues.
Okay.
And we kind of go through the journey with them, and it's mind-blowing. Over the years, we've learned so much about our clients and actually what can happen to the human body. And more importantly, what can we do to cure that? We talked about the DNA methylation test on the last show. We talk about a lot of things that are proactive. So lately, Joseph and I have been working out with a trainer. It's just that it's the one thing we're so sedentary at our jobs that we want to do. So you have to start to prioritize your life, right? And I know, 𝗵𝗲, you're really big into yoga and really watching what you eat. You're so disciplined with that, right? So I think that there's a lot of people that when it comes to their healthcare, mobility is got to be more enacted in that. And we actually work with a surgeon. He's been our client of ours for a long time. The more mobile you are up until age 65, the better off you're going to be in retirement. So really what we're looking at is that, and I'm excited to do all these podcasts because again, we get phone calls, emails saying, Eric, I have to go to the doctor for this, this, or this. We have learned so much about this. But again, the preventative part is the most important part.
Absolutely.
When it comes to the cost, we've been following Fidelity's study for a very long time. And right now what they're showing is the average person that gets up to 65 is going to spend about $165,000 on healthcare. This is not including long-term care. This is not including what is covered by Medicare. If you're a couple, that number is closer to about $300,000 just for health care.
Wow, $300,000 just for health care.
Yeah.
That is scary.
So the one thing is that we're doing is in the income plan, we're actually running a separate window for health care and long-term care expenses.
Okay.
The one thing I like about this is I haven't seen it from another financial planning firm ever. So this is another piece of value that our clients are receiving from us. Really, again, don't have more questions than answers. Actually have your your questions answered by somebody who actually knows what they're doing. So we're sitting down with you, and believe me, at Retirement Wealth Advisors, we're investing in you first before you have to decide if you want to invest in us. So come call us, get a lot of tools, get a lot of value from us before you have to make any decisions.
Eric, thank you. Great, great sage advice. Joseph, this next one I'm going to guide to you. Do I need to pay off my mortgage before I retire?
Yeah.
Big question a lot of people are asking.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that want to go into retirement completely debt-free and they don't care what that debt is. And that's the thing, is there are different levels to this. Obviously, we don't want to be going in with any credit card debt or consumer debt. And we really ideally never want to have that in general. But when it comes to a low fixed interest rate mortgage, let's say anywhere from 2 to 4%, you may not want to prioritize paying that off quickly or chunking money out of your investments to pay that off. Because essentially what you're telling yourself by doing that is, my investments aren't earning me on average whatever that mortgage rate is or more. And at 2 to 4% over the past 10 years, when you look at it, you really should be earning more than that 2 to 4%.
True.
And just remember, and this is how we view things as money managers as well. Where is your funds, where's your capital best used for your situation? And you have to think about it as, even when that home is paid off free and clear, you still have property taxes that you have to pay on that, and you still have homeowners insurance that you have to pay on that, or at least in Southwest Florida, most people are going to want homeowners insurance on their house. So if you still want to go through that and pay off that mortgage sooner, I would say you have to just make sure that that is factored into your financial plan to see that you still have sufficient assets after that point to continue living that lifestyle that you want.
Joseph, thank you so much. Eric, this next question I'm going to guide to you. Should my investments change as I get deeper into retirement? Should my investments change?
Yeah, so I think the better question is my lifestyle going to change into retirement? And I think it is. You know, things change as we get deeper into retirement. We're going to want to travel differently. All of a sudden, grandkids come into play, and we're like, we didn't expect that to happen. Your family's going to change. It's going to evolve. You may be changing where you're actually living. A lot of people want to make changes to that. After the past hurricanes, there's been people that have moved up to South Carolina, North Carolina, or they're actually moving back to the Midwest or the Northeast. Things will change. So what we have to really realize is through the financial plan and the income plan, it's not really our investments that are going to change. It's the strategy of how we combat that lifestyle. And so I think when you take a look at a successful person, they're really focusing at their entire lifestyle and how their money plays a role into it rather than breaking down individual pieces. So I think, again, people are craving that financial infrastructure that they really want, and that's what we're providing them. So everything's going to change whether you want it to or not. It's just our day-to-day actions. It's our life. It's on a quarterly basis, on a yearly basis. Everything changes. And so again, we keep wanting to combat those ideas. When things come out of the woodwork or we're flanked from left field, we want to make sure that we're prepared for them financially. And again, no matter what happens, we hopefully have an answer for that. That is the power of financial planning.
Absolutely. And I think we have time for just one more, Eric. What if I already have an advisor? How does that affect working with you?
Yeah, so a lot of people, if they come into us, they're coming to us for a reason. And I'm like, what brings you in today?
Right.
And a lot of times they'll say, look, I'm already currently working with an advisor, but there's something there that I'm not sure is quite right. So there's a lot of people that say, I feel like I've been in fixed income. I feel like I'm not getting a rate of return. I really don't have a financial plan. I don't have any direction. Here's the deal. Give us a call today, get a second opinion. Here's what you're also going to get with that. We're going to provide you with people that we've been working with. We're going to give you referrals based on what is your situation. So whatever your situation is, we've had clients that said, Eric, if you know anyone that has been in our situation that you have fixed, please have them give us a call. So our current client base is probably the very best advocates that we have out there for our potential clients. So again, if you have any questions, you want a second opinion, you want to call current clients, give us a call today. We'll set that up for you.
Joseph, don't you love how today's show is dedicated to all of our viewers? The questions all came from them.
Yeah, a lot of times people have the same questions, but they're maybe afraid to call in and ask. But a lot of times you have repeat questions in there. So it always feels good to be able to get kind of what everybody's thinking out there and answer those questions for them. But again, if you have specific questions for your situation, please feel free to give us a call.
Joseph, thank you so much. Eric, thank you so much as always. To the viewers at home, most specifically, thank you for spending time with us today on Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney. We know that you have a lot of questions about how to plan your perfect retirement. They have the answers for you. Just call in 1-800-779-1942, or you can grab your smartphone, click on that QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. Be safe, be happy, and be blessed. We'll see you back 1 week from today. Take care now, and we'll see you soon.
Hey, Southwest Florida, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions after today's show, please give us a call.
Remember, you only retire once. Let's get it right the first time. Have a great week and an even better retirement.